People want you to be a certain way, and sometimes you can't help but be depressed.
If you're that depressed, reach out to someone. And remember, suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems.
Fair use. The Buddhists and Hindus believe that if you reincarnate, actually deleting yourself, it's not a permanent solution if you're going to reincarnate. You're just actually making things worse. You cut your reincarnation short. You didn't learn the lessons you're supposed to. You're coming back. You have a longer jail sentence.
You went through it, yeah. For what were you addicted to? Oh, I had a little problem with alcohol. It was a way of kind of shutting the world out and avoiding the world. Yeah. Just doing that to ease my pain. What keeps you up at night? What keeps me up? It's usually thinking about something that either happened that, didn't go exactly the way you wanted, or that you're worried about something you have to do, and you're kind of preparing. And then you realize the only way to prepare is to let go. Okay, you've done it now. Just let go, let go. And there's a voice that tells alcoholics we can drink. It's the same voice you hear if you can go up to the top of a very large building and you look over the side. There's a little voice that goes, jump. You can fly. It's the same voice. The same voice goes, just one. There's a voice that goes, jump. And the idea of just one. For someone who has no tolerance for it, that's not a possibility. You Americans think when something dies, that's it, it's over. But when you go to the Middle East, you realize that there's a real sense of things stay around.
So you were dry for 20 years.
Yes.
Why did you fall off?
I was in a little town in Alaska. It wasn't the end of the world, but you can see it from there. And it was like all of a sudden I thought, I could drink. It's also that same thought you have if you look off a large building and go, I can fly. And within a week, it was like, gone, blazing away.
They say for alcoholics, one drink is too many and 1,000 isn't enough. I think that's for any addiction that you have. You know yourself. You know if you have one, you can't stop. It's going to continue. You're back off the wagon, and it's never enough. The dopamine fiend within you continues to go. And that's the thing with our culture. We think things aren't drugs, like coffee, for example. I'm admittedly a caffeine addict. I'm been trying to get off the wagon off and on for the last 4 years, 5 years. And for me, all it takes is one cup of coffee and then I'm back on. And it's a stimulant, it's a drug, it's an acceptable drug. It's like the prohibition for alcohol. Now alcohol's not looked at as so bad, so it's something we do to unwind. It's a drug. I'm not sure if it's a stimulant, it might be a depressant, but it's that same class of things. All these things are unnecessary. I'm always jealous of people that never develop the caffeine addiction because it's so pervasive in our culture. There's coffee everywhere. And I remember one time I was at an office, and at that point, I wasn't a caffeine addict. I was probably 22, right out of college, something like that. And I didn't like buy enough K cups. And we had one caffeine addict, and he was like going crazy. And he had to go next door to get a bottle of Folgers dissolvable sort of instant coffee. And it was such a big deal. And I had to promise I'll never mess up the coffee order ever again.
Time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay. And then beep. Then next thing you know, it's not okay. It's not going so well. You're up and you're up and you're up, but when you crash, even the devil's going, dude, this is not going to go well. So many of us did it, and you get through it, and there'll be those nights when you do, you'd be like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And then you wake up the next morning, I didn't die. Let's try it again. The definition of insanity is repeating the same action, expecting a different outcome. It's insanity, and what a
That's really the issue. Thinking the outcome's going to be different that time. You know it's bad for you, whatever your addiction is, and you keep doing it because you think this time I can beat it, this time I can do it, and not get back on the wagon, off the wagon. And I like to throw away addictions before I get them. Like, don't even go down that road if I don't even like it all that much. At least with coffee, I actually like it all around. With the alcohol, I don't like the hangover. But the caffeine crashes for me. Sometimes it can work because you crash at night when you're going to go to bed anyway. I find caffeine crashes don't do so well as a parent though, because you kind of have to have the energy to take care of your child as after work. You can't just like crash. It's more of a single person's drug. I find it. I don't think it does so well. I think a lot of people don't realize that as parents, that often part of the reason you're too burnt out and you're laying on the couch at home is because of the caffeine crash. You're not giving it the credit that it deserves for wrecking your life.
Happens in rehab. What happens is people basically start the process of, just saying no and being among others, and learning that you're not alone and working on giving up, giving up that you could do it yourself because everyone's thinking, I got this under control. And you go to those and, you find other people who've done things that make you look Amish. I was so far in denial, I was in the Suez. It was like out there. There was a bottle of vodka that was in the refrigerator, and I would actually, kind of drink down thinking no one noticed. Till it gets down to the very bottom, going, I don't know what happened. And you're drinking, thinking, no one notices. And then sometimes you put water in there, and then you realize, idiot, water freezes. Yeah, there's a sadness, and then you have to go with it. There's also hope. I mean, sadness, it's always like, you wish they hadn't happened, but they did. And the purpose is to make you different. It's that idea of you're back, and you realize the thing that matters are others, way beyond yourself. Self goes away. Ego, bye-bye. Realize there are a lot of amazing people out there to be grateful for, and a loving God. And that, other than that, good luck.
Stand-up is how comedians process things that are painful.
Yeah.
But does that mean we have to wish more painful things on you?
You don't have to. I find them. I think sober and also able to experience life and go, it's pretty amazing. It's kind of, before the heart surgery, one of the more sobering moments of just going, life is extraordinary. I don't want to miss it,
Oh, man.
It's a gift,
man, I'm telling
dude,
you.
and to be spending most of the time there, I don't have it. Where were you? I don't remember. So
You're
come back-
absolutely right.
To come back from
Yeah.
that is like going, oh, look. And then you realize you do have family, friends, and people go, I appreciate you. And now I can actually remember what we're talking about. How cool
Yeah.
is that? That's kind of the gift,
Yeah.
I find that addiction does do that to you. You use it as an escape from life, and then you get so used to escaping that you start missing the life in front of you. You start spending more time in this other matrix quasi life that's not really it. And you miss out on things. Like for me, I spent many years playing so much poker. It wasn't a true addiction that I like lost money, but the time, just playing as a recreational player, just having fun. You you think there's no cost because you're playing low stakes and you're not losing money and you're having fun with friends or at the casino or something, but those times I missed with family or friends can't be taken back. My ex-wife used to say, if I'd spent the amount of time I spent on poker, I could have owned a company. I could have been CEO. And I look back at that comment, and she's absolutely right. The amount of time I wasted could have accomplished so much. And even recently, I just gave it up for good just to get that time back. And it's amazing, like just looking at my calendar, it's no longer a couple Saturdays a month being taken, because I realize it's my friend used to do comedy and he eventually gave it up too. And he said something, it's not the comedy that was pissing him off with the time wasting. It was all the schlepping. It was all he had to drive some long distance and then spending money on gas and then making the jokes before having to spend hours writing. It was all this time suck associated with it just to have that release of him doing comedy. It wasn't worth it for him. And I was really shocked at the time when he gave it up because he was such a hardcore comedian he'd been doing it for probably 10 years, maybe more. And he just gave it up just like that. And I see myself in him. He's about 10 years older than me. I was probably 20 at the time, 25. He must have been 35. And I'm 40 now and I'm doing the same. It's like as you get older, you realize you have limited energy and limited time, wasting it on these addictions. It's just that opportunity cost. You can't do something else because you're doing the addiction or you're doing some form of escapism. It's the same thing with doom scrolling. think we're all kind of guilty of that, where your time would be better spent sleeping, doing literally anything else but the doom scrolling. The doom scrolling really accomplishes nothing.
And that's those things that you just gratitude. That's the simple gratitude of like, yeah, it's good. Or as one guy said, every day above ground. You know, it's much nicer. But it's all those things. I really appreciate that. Just look at your own life and just realize what things are precious to you. And trying to, live two lives. One is the performing life, and the other is the life of that social ramble of trying to be, on top of it all and do everything at all times. And you can't. Well, it's deadly. That'll kill you quicker than performing. It's just trying to be at every party and do everything everywhere at all times. I don't vividly remember anything from, it's like there was this thing for it's called a blackout, which isn't really a blackout. It's more like sleepwalking with activities. And I believe it's your conscience going into a witness protection program. I've got to go now. Good luck. I'm checking out. I'm leaving the body on, but we're not going to remember anything. Good luck to you. Take care.
Is being funny sometimes a hindrance to social interaction?
Years ago, I was reading a story to my daughter. I was doing voices and everything, and she turned to me and said, "Just read the story." And then the alcohol kicked in and decided, and then eventually realized I can't. I remember stopping it on my own because I was about to have a son, but I did it alone, so that was why, 20 years without any help. But I think I did it because it would actually allow me not to talk. Just keep going. Find that thing you love because it's tough work. And my father gave me this advice when I said I wanted to be an actor. He said, have a backup profession like welding. But I think if you can find that thing that really gives you joy, that'll be it. Because for me, it's always been comedy and stand-up and acting too, because of exploring behavior. But it's tough work, and if you can get it, even better. Good luck.